I want to give another example here of how Trump isn't landing like he was in 2016. That's a theme that I'm going to keep coming back to because I think it's really obvious. Here's a pivot that he made while talking about policy. Look at where he takes the conversation when Biden brings up China.
And so you take a look at what he's actually done. He's done very little. His trade deals are the same way. He talks about these great trade deals. You know, he talks about the art of the deal. China's perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China now than we did before. We have the highest trade deficit with Mexico.
China ate your lunch, down 18%. China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars, to manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also, while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with Burisma to deserve $183,000?
You've asked a question, let him answer.
None of that is true.
Oh, really?
Totally, Mr. President, please.
Totally discredited.
So here's the thing. Is it a real issue when you talk about Hunter and corruption? It is. It absolutely is. And you see this all the time with these career politicians who've made it to the highest levels of government. Their families cash in ways that, at the very least, are unethical. Probably it goes beyond that, and it's illegal in some instances, but at the very least, it's unethical. It is true that Hunter Biden was getting paid a lot of money sitting on a Ukrainian natural gas board, and he doesn't know anything about Ukraine or anything about natural gas. And so, yeah, the idea is they're getting these cushy jobs because it allows them access to Biden, and Biden is a powerful politician, and he can do favors for whichever Ukrainians are involved, the Ukrainian government, so on and so forth. Now, it also needs to be said, we just learned the other day that Trump made about $73 million in 2016 and 2017 from foreign investors and foreign governments as president. The clearest violation of the Emoluments Clause I've ever seen in my life, and he's definitely returning favors. I mean, just the Saudi Arabia weapons deal is enough. I mean, making money from Saudi Arabia through his D.C. hotel and then giving them a multi-billion-dollar weapons deal. Meanwhile, he used to say things about Saudi Arabia, about how they're responsible for 9/11. All of a sudden, that's gone, and he's giving them weapons as they do a genocide in Yemen. So, yes, Biden and Hunter, there is corruption there. Biden's family cashed in on his public profile, for sure. Same with Trump. Without a doubt, the same with Trump. But here's where Trump messed up. Biden was talking about trade policy and the trade deficit with China. And Trump pivoted to make it personal and make it about Hunter. That was a mistake. I'm telling you, man, one of the Kyle rules of politics is if you're talking policy, you can't make it personal. Because once you make it personal, you lose. Now, once that door is open, somebody can respond tit for tat. And so if Biden wanted to say something personal back to Trump, that's fair game because Trump opened the door and he said something personal. But if you're the first one to go personal, you lose. Because I don't think people react well to that, man. And the problem for Trump here is he's the Fox News grandpa. He's too drunk on Fox News and One American News Network, and he's in that right-wing bubble. And so he says these things, and it's all obvious to him. Of course, Hunter is incredibly corrupt, and you're incredibly corrupt, and I'm going to bring that up, and I'm going to nail you on that. But when Biden was making substantive points on the trade deficit, and when Biden was talking about, trade policy, and you go to that, it just looks like you're being petty, and it's a low blow, because you are being petty. Now, it's not a low blow, because corruption is fair game, but, that's where, again, if Biden wanted to, he could flip that right back on you. You made over $70 million from foreign investors and foreign governments as president. Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm just because of the appearance that some foreign investors or foreign governments might pay him through there. So, again, I'm telling you, man, that is not landing for Trump. In 2016, Trump's one-liners were witty, clever, sometimes correct, funny, but this is not. That's just like, it's screechy, it's whiny, it's insular. It's like only the people who are already full MAGA are going to watch that and go, yeah, good point. Regular people don't really care about Hunter. They don't know and they don't care. Plus, you're the one that's in power now, and you're the one that's taking money from foreign investors and foreign governments now. So it's too in his own bubble. He's dating himself. The attacks on Hillary in 2016 were around the Iraq War, were around trade policy. Now it's Biden hitting Trump on trade policy. By the way, Biden brought up in the debate, Buy America. Basically stealing a Trump line from Trump. Trump focusing on trade and bringing jobs here. And Biden was the one talking about that, and Trump goes to Hunter. There was another line that pissed a lot of people off too. I don't think you saw it here, but where Biden brings up Bo, his son that died, and talks about, he brings up I think it honestly was a fake report in The Atlantic about Trump called the troops, what was it, suckers and losers or something. It was and the guy has a history of making stuff up, the guy who wrote that piece. So I actually don't think Trump said that, but put that aside. Biden hit Trump on that and said, you call the soldiers losers and suckers. My son Bo was not a loser or a sucker, something along those lines. And Trump's like, who? Who are you talking about? Hunter? I know Hunter's like making a lot of money, and I know Hunter got kicked out of the military for cocaine use. And Biden was like, no, I was talking about Bo, like the son that died. And so, of course, the media clutches their pearls. Oh, how could you? He talked about Bo and you brought up Hunter. But the point that I see people stressing is he hit Hunter for being an addict. And like anybody who knows anything about addiction knows, it's a lot more complicated. It's not just a moral failing of the person who has addiction. It's a lot more complicated than that. And Trump's like flippant old guy, diagnosis of like, he was dishonorably discharged because he was doing cocaine. Like, he turned a criticism that substantively is legitimate about like Hunter and corruption, he turned it into a gross personal attack about addiction. And it's like, it's just, I'm telling you, it's not cute anymore. Trump is now coming across as crass and unhinged and bloviating and annoying and whiny. It's not like the punchy, witty 2016 Trump that was actually interesting. So, I mean, this is just one guy's opinion here that you're getting from me. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you disagree a lot. Maybe you disagree a little. Whatever it might be. But my take on it is, it's not, the magic is gone. The magic is gone. He's too in his own bubble. He's too drunk on Fox News. He's not, the attacks don't hit a nerve anymore because it's not on a war. It's not on trade policy. It's petty. It's personal. It's vindictive. And also, 200,000 people died on his watch, and that's going to hurt any incumbent president.